Oh, I'm so excited. I'm here with my friend Willard, and Willard, we only met like not very long ago, like just a few months ago. But I feel like
Yep.
I know you like forever because we just had that connection, right? Like
Yep.
some people you just know when you meet with them, you just connect. And so I want to do this quick little, I'm calling it the What is Quality of Life series. And I'm checking in with people that I adore in my life. And Will is one of them. We've connected networking, and now we both have this love of AI. And I kind of got you into my cult, right? My Saturday morning cult for AI. So question, Willard, it's very simple. What is quality of life to you? What does it mean to you?
What quality of life means to me personally is the ability to navigate the ups and downs in life, the good things and the bad things, and as much as possible, stay even keeled and overusing the word possibly, but to remain at peace. To me, that's
Ooh,
quality of life.
I love that. I love that. I love the even. So there's not the big highs and lows, right? It just, you're
Yep.
going to get a little wave. That's what I'm
Yep.
kind of visioning. Okay. Has there ever been a time where like you were like so out of touch with your quality of life and then you, then you had to bring yourself back in? I know it's a loaded question, right?
Well, it's a bit of a loaded question, but it's also a comparison of my life 36 years ago to what life is like now. You
Oh,
know,
okay.
my life. Okay, quick history. Lost my
Okay.
leg when I was 8 years old to bone cancer. Put me on two very diverse paths. One, mega achiever because I had to prove to everybody I could do what anybody would even think that I couldn't do. But the other path was anger, self-loathing, low self-worth, all those types of things.
Yeah.
How did I deal with that? Alcohol and drugs.
Uh-huh.
And by covering up all of those emotions, when I finally got to a point, and that's a whole other story of how I got to the point of going, this isn't working for me. I can remember sitting on a hot seat where in a certain situation where people were going, so why are you so angry? I'm like, I'm not angry. Why are you so angry? I'm not angry. After about 30 minutes of 25 people going, why are you so angry? I blew up and answered them. And I realized anger had become a normal state of mind for me, a normal place. So although I didn't have rage bursts, it was the way that I focused at the world. It was the way that anything that happened, that was the filter I was running things through. So fast forward 36 years, which was not really a fast forward, but getting to a place in life through a lot of personal introspection, self awareness, a lot of, I don't want to say work because that scares people away, but a lot of putting in the time, the effort to be able to slow down and become responsive rather than
Right.
reactive. Getting to a place to go, you know what? It's not what happens, it's what you do, and don't make things better than they are. Don't make things worse than they are. I'm not a person that preaches Pollyanna, but it's like, don't
Yeah.
make things better. Don't make it worse. Just look at it for what it is and go, okay, what do I do? How do I actually rise above this? And how do I stay peaceful with whatever chaos, whatever storm is going on around me?
I love that because that's life. Like, some crazy shit happens, right? But that's
Yeah.
life. And we have to figure out how to deal with it. So that completely fits with your definition of like, what is quality of life. But even when you said even keel, you're like, anger was my even keel. And I was like, whoa, but then you realize that wasn't the good one to be in. That's really cool. So how did you weave that into who you are and your businesses and everything that you're doing today? How did that show up then?
You know what? It took a long time, I will say. I mean, it was really immersing myself. Again, I don't want to say it was hard work because then people get scared of doing it. It was about immersing myself in learning who I was and learning why people do what they do. And I came to find, after being asked a similar question several years ago, of how did you overcome these things? How did you get to this point where you now teach other people to do the same thing? I found that there is actually a framework. I call it the anatomy of transformation. There's 7 phases that people go through, kind of like the grief framework and everything else, but there's 7 phases, and it's about the. I'm not going to go through all 7, but the one that kind of answers your question is first off, come to a place of awareness of how you're acting and reacting to things, and then taking responsibility for it. meaning you got to stop blaming the world. You got to stop blaming other people, got to stop blaming the economy, your parents, whatever, and go, even though I had nothing to do with losing my leg to cancer, I had everything to do with the decisions I made and the actions I took after that. So if I'm not happy with where I am, I got me there. And when I can take responsibility for how I got to where I am, now I can start taking more immediate responsibility for where I'm going to go. When something comes up, rather than just, again, reacting, go, wait a minute, take a deep breath. You and I played around doing that right before we started recording. Take a deep breath.
Yeah.
It's so simple because you pause and you go, okay, I just got this shut off notice in the mail. I can freak out or I can
Yeah.
go, what can I do?
Right.
Anything. It doesn't, I'm not trying to minimize anything. Whether
No.
it's you just stubbed your big toe or you had a death in the family, God willing you don't, you pause, you breathe and go, okay, this is part of life. How am I going to respond to this? Is it okay to be angry? You said shit, so I'll go, hell yeah, I can be angry,
I
but
cuss. It's all good.
I now have a choice. I can stay
Yeah.
angry for a year, or I can allow myself to be angry for a week, a day, an hour, 10 minutes, and then go, okay, time to finish being angry. Now let me get back to being peaceful and finding solutions. Hope that
And
helps.
that takes us into that wave, right? And
Yep.
I think you're threading this theme of personal responsibility, which is where a lot of people, they just forget. They play that blame game. And you said it brilliantly. You were not responsible for losing your leg to cancer. Sometimes
Right.
cancer does what cancer does. And but you got to respond and you were personally responsible for everything that transpired after. And I say that all the time. And I said, quality of life, or even just living life, it doesn't have to be hard. It doesn't have to be, oh my God, I have to change everything. I have to change how I eat, how I think, how I no. It's about the daily habits of just being a little bit better today than I was yesterday. Or if I was really pissy an hour ago, how did I bring myself out of that so that I can not bring that ickiness mood into the next moment?
Yeah. And something you just said, want to cue in on as well, where it's about looking at yourself, challenge a lot of people have that keeps them out of the quality of life is they go, here's where I want to be, but they'll compare themselves to where they want to be. So they're never freaking happy.
Yeah.
There is no quality of life because, oh man, I still suck. I haven't gotten there yet.
Yeah.
Yes, compare yourself only to yourself. Stop comparing yourself to all the bullshit that's out there on social media, but compare yourself to who you were yesterday, a week ago, 5 years ago, and go, damn, I'm doing good. I may not be there yet, but look where I was a point ago. And even if you backslide sometimes, that's okay because you've learned things in that sliding backward that is going to be forward.
Yes.
End of
Yes.
end
Preach
of
it.
sermon.
Preach
Preach,
it.
baby.
Amen. It's, sometimes like we've both been doing this work a long time, right?
Yep.
Figuring shit out because we just have to. We've made a choice to live our lives a little bit differently than what I would call the average bear. Oh, boo, boo, yoga, a little bit differently than the average bear. And so this is why I love having conversations like this. And they're just, little quick little, hey, tell me what's in your brain because I want really, really, like one of my passions in life is to really demonstrate and emulate or, inspire whatever the words you want to show people that life is just one freaking foot in front of the other. When we taught our
Yep.
children how to walk, or you watched a child learn how to talk or hold a spoon, you didn't chastise them and go, oh, you should be walking by now. You're 11 months old. Like we give them the
Yep.
grace, but somehow we forget as we age. So this is why I wanted to do these conversations. This is why I wanted to say, Willard, tell me what is like the qualityist ish thing in your life. What do you love most about your life right now?
What I love most about my life right now is, again, in the middle of a storm, yeah, I can get upset, but it doesn't detour me into a bunch of true chaos that I create because I've learned that look, this is my belief about things. Good, bad, right, wrong do not exist. It is my perception of the experience and the meaning that I attach to it. So it's that question when something traumatic happens, I can get angry, I can get mad, or I can go, isn't this an interesting situation that's moving me in a new direction? Now, I didn't get there from one thought and instant. It came by building a muscle, just like anything else. And again, I'm not being Pollyanna about it. But if I get upset and angry and resist it, it just makes it worse. What happens if I just go, okay, this is what it is. What do I do next? I was involved in a conversation earlier today where we were talking about some people just get so focused on the push, the fight, the grind, all those types of things. All of this is shift in perception, truly a shift in perception to go from fighting it to surrendering to it and going, okay, it is what it is. What do I do next? I can't change it. What do I do next?
Yeah,
Great. I'm not
that's
getting
my
religious.
favorite.
Yeah, I'm not
But
getting
now what?
religious, not getting religious on this, but there
Go,
is a prayer that
yeah,
I've used for years.
go.
Take the God part out of it and just go, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. And the wisdom is the only thing I can change is me. So change me, change my
Brilliant.
perception.
You are brilliant. This is why I adore you so much. Ah,
Thank
I adore you. I adore you. So I'm going to, when I finish this all up, tell people because they're going to watch this and go, how do I get a hold of Willard? Because I need to connect with him. What's the best way for someone to get a hold of you?
Best way, the thing behind me is the name of my business. My
Okay.
business is me. I speak, I do advising, I do training, those types of things. It's willardbarthenterprises.com. That's the easiest way to find me.
Love it. And you're on LinkedIn as well, because that's how I found you, I think. Perfect.
Yes, I am.
All right. Hold that thought. Oh, recording. Hit the wrong button. Okay, so Willard, I am so excited. Thank you so much for sharing the little musings in your brain. And I love this about you. And I love your story. And I love your tenacity and the simple way that you look at life. So I totally appreciate you. So thank you for being a part of my world, not only today, but all over. All right, I'm going to stop the recording.